We want to take students to go out of the big cities, to see with their own eyes, to hear with their own ears what is really China is all about.
We are on our way to Anhui. We just came from Suzhou, and we should be there in like an hour-ish. So I am working on one of my PowerPoints for a group right now because I figured it's good to be productive while I'm on the train.
When we went to Anhui, our first meeting was with the education officials. This rural community was so welcoming to Harvard, and Harvard specifically, because these education officials, they dream of being able to send some of their students overseas.
It was interesting to see their style in terms of how they talked about their province, how they talked about their work and themselves personally. The reactions to some of the more personal questions that were posed to them by John and some of the other students was really interesting.
The joint performance today between Chen Teachers College and Harvard University, one with 110 years history and the other being an international top university, will let Harvard University students know more about Chinese culture and how they operate.
Currently attempting to get to a rural village middle school, but because of the size of the road, our bus is having some difficulties getting by the long and tortuous road. We've already gotten stuck under an electrical wire and had to get a local to lift it with bamboo, and now I think we're stuck on a tractor.
The field trip, first and foremost, was a great opportunity, a very eye-opening opportunity to see what rural China is like, because I've actually never been, even though I was born here, I've never actually traveled to the more rural parts of China. So the Anhui part of the trip was actually the most rewarding part of the experience, to see what, I guess, the other half of China is like.
So visiting the elementary school in Anhui, it was definitely different from my experiences. Our schools had 20 or so kids a class, and this school was in Anhui was 20 kids for grades 1 through 4. We had teachers that were eager for us to be there. They're teaching us everything they could. In Anhui, I feel like there's a lot of speed bumps that they run into.
这个大姐的名字叫 Emily。Hi Emily。He's the only child to
We just left the village, but I guess someone spotted some watermelons for sale by the side of the road. They're obviously really fresh, so we decided to stop. And John asked the bus if anyone else wanted some, so we ended up deciding on buying 10 of them.
这边没关系，他是学生的。我是学生，我是来和老师来一个。
You come to China, you see for yourself big cities, high rises, skyscrapers, streams and rivers of cars. And you hear Chinese officially insist that China remains a developing country. You say, wow, this is where the action is. How do we handle that? How do we make sure that we build up the right institutions, that we pass the right legislation laws, that we make sure these laws are fairly and equitably enforced?
I do think that being on this trip, being in this program and working for a Chinese company has helped me to realize that, how strong of a culture, China really does have. It's not just China trying to copy the United States or the Western world.
One of the biggest hurdles that I still have to make in China is that there really is a different way of thinking that makes it sometimes very hard, even in English, to communicate and understand with people.
I think working in China long term for myself is a very strong possibility. This is actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to be part of this program, because they offer opportunities to be working in mainland China that might be difficult to access otherwise.
I think my opinion on living and working in China has changed the most since probably the first 2 weeks of the program, when I just had this intense cultural shock. Since that time, I've gotten really comfortable and much more comfortable in Shanghai. I've gotten much more comfortable at Hay Group, and I've been really loving this opportunity, and I can definitely imagine living here after college or working here.
I think working for a Chinese company this summer, I may have gotten a unique experience compared to someone who's working for a US company in China. If an American company is trying to sell to Chinese, they have to figure out what they want. Working for a Chinese company, I kind of, firsthand experience what their demands are and what people like.
I think that I'm warming up to working here in this environment more and more as summer goes by, because you get more and more used to being here. So in that sense then, the possibility, the door for working here long term is still definitely open.
Beyond Father 这个地方，我觉得我可能会讲，你应该为你的孩子感到骄傲。为另一个实习学生的妈妈，我会讲，她在中粮的实习生活是愉快，也请你放心。那么为这个大学的哈佛大学的校长，我可能会讲，希望通过这哈佛的实习生，能建起中粮集团跟哈佛大学那么战略合作的一个平台。希望更多的哈佛大学生能够加盟中粮，成为中粮人。